And this view again is from the WB-57. That's one of our high altitude planes as it continues to track Dragon ahead of those drogue parachutes being deployed. And shortly after that, we'll see the main parachutes deployed, but we'll stand by for those drogues to go ahead and get deployed. We are hearing that Dragon has good pitch and yaw stability, so everything continuing to go really smoothly.
Oh, there we can see that the drogue parachutes, thanks to that WB-57 views, drogues are deployed. We can see two good-looking drogues. Oh, this is a great view from inside the parachute bay where those drogue parachutes...
Drogue chute descent rate nominal.
Next, those drogue chutes will next pull out the main parachutes, and we'll see those 4 main parachutes open and inflate. Once again, Dragon is, we can see deployment there of the 4 main parachutes. Dragon is doing this autonomously, releasing each set of parachutes. We can now see those 4 main parachutes begin to inflate. Pretty incredible to see how, as those main parachutes inflate, the capsule itself slows down even more significantly.
Main chute descent rate nominal.
Copy, nominal descent rate 1,000 meters.
Continuing to get great views from the WB-57 as Crew-8 is nearing splashdown.
400 meters.
Copy, 400.
Meters, bracing.
Copy, 200 and braced.
At this point in time, the seats in Dragon have rotated a little bit to help provide a more comfortable and safer bodily orientation for the crew members as they come closer to splashdown. Like we said before, the capsule's going about 15 or 16 miles per hour.
And splashdown.
And Endeavour, we see the same. On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
We do see some of those fast boats begin to approach, and they're going to do some of those sniff checks, make sure that everything is as expected before they continue with the operations of bringing Dragon closer to the recovery vessel and then eventually lifting it on. So we are now eagerly awaiting the recovery of our Dragon spacecraft with NASA astronauts Matt Dominic, Mike Barrett, and Jeanette Epps, as well as Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gurbankin inside. So Dragon has already autonomously completed several steps to safe itself following splashdown, and we are continuing to see those views of the fast boats. They do have the go to approach. So for those of you just joining us, the mission has gone smoothly so far. Dragon successfully splashed down off the coast of Pensacola at 12:29 a.m. Pacific, 3:39.
They are being followed by one of the main recovery vessels, which will move into position upwind of the spacecraft. We put it upwind just in case there are any residual hypergolic elements there on the exterior of the capsule. So putting the larger recovery vessel upwind before having the confirmation that there are no residuals. Key safety check there. The 2 fast boats have very specific roles. Their first view of our second fast boat. The first one is focused on immediate safety inspection of the spacecraft integrity and checking for any presence of those hypergolic propellant vapors. And this helps ensure that it's safe for the recovery vessel to approach Dragon as well as the rest of the recovery team. Once Dragon...
Hypergol sweeps and unfired ordnance checks are nominal. Rigging is in progress. Approximately 25 minutes until capsule lift. Stand by for PMC with the ship flight surgeon and Hawthorne flight surgeon.
Dragon.
All right, great news there. So we got confirmation that those safety checks are complete. So we'll now see the recovery team begin to place the required straps and harnesses around, as you can see there, around the Dragon capsule. We also heard confirmation that the words that were used were unfired ordnance. That those are those pyrotechnics that are utilized to fire the parachutes at the appropriate time, so confirmation that those have been saved. And we also heard PMC, that stands for Private Medical Conference, and that is an opportunity to speak with the flight surgeon and to give a rundown on how the crew is feeling. As we mentioned earlier, we have 3 spaceflight rookies, although they're not rookies anymore now that they're back on Earth, and 1 veteran, so Michael Barrett, this is he has now completed 4 space flights, so it's a good opportunity even for everyone to check in with the surgeon, let them know how they're feeling, and of course that is private. Now, we did get that all clear for full approach, so like I said, that you can see that the team beginning to rig up the spacecraft for the recovery by the recovery ship. That second fast boat, which we see coming in and out of screen, is responsible for parachute recovery and also serves as a redundant boat to the first fast boat.
We're down and we actually saw the parachutes from the fast boat being dragged a little bit here as they were clearing out the area for us to be able to recover Dragon. Again, you guys went over a little bit, but after we got all clear, the fast boats went in to make sure that there was no hypergolic leaks, that propellant leaks, and then we're right now inching closer and closer to the vessel as we see, I don't know if you guys have views right now, but as we're inching closer, we're backing the Megan closer to the Dragon Endeavor where it sits right now in the ocean.
Yeah, Shaniqua,
I
think we have a very similar view currently as you. We are also looking off the aft end of the recovery vessel. We see a couple crew members there next to the Dragon's nest, and we can also see the Dragon capsule. So I have a feeling that you're standing pretty close to the camera we got views from.
Yes, absolutely. And Shaniqua, you know, we have all been tracking this weather pretty closely throughout the return journey for Crew-8. From my perspective, those seas look like glass. Can you tell us about the landing conditions from your perspective?
Yes, so we had optimal conditions to actually bring Dragon home today and splash down off the Pensacola coast. The conditions have been more than favorable, I would say. We expected a little chill to be in the air. We're all buckled up in sweatshirts and hoodies here, and it's actually a smooth, like 76 degrees. Beautiful, calm ocean as well as clear skies tonight. We had a couple of the flash stops pointing out the constellations. As
we're standing in the bay where the main parachutes were housed prior to being deployed.
That's right, and it looks like that rigger this evening is Troy Werner, so we might get the opportunity to see him as he jumps off of the spacecraft, which is Kate's worst nightmare.
Yes. A moment I feel things for that individual when I see them perform that, and it's really admiration that they have the bravery to do that, especially at night. Now we can see him standing there in that bay where...
Dragon, SpaceX, com check.
Loud and clear, House.
Loud and clear as well. Transition from audio from Tidris to Megan successful. Rigging has been complete. Approximately 5 minutes until capsule lift.
Copy, 5 to lift.
Great news there, just giving the crew an anticipated timeline for the remainder of each individual performing their specific task. And this, of course, is something that the recovery team trains for extensively, both for daylight and nighttime operations. So this is something that each individual is well trained, well prepared for. And we can see now that the Dragon capsule is safely in the nest, like Sandra mentioned. We're going to be plugging up the Draco thruster outlets to help ensure that there are no hypergolic vapors that escape. We'll also perform another safety check, excuse me, to make sure it is safe for crew members to make a close approach. And we can see the team members removing some of the straps and the rigging that was necessary for capsule lift, but now unnecessary. And we will remove those to help clear the way to open the side hatch. A great view there of that side hatch. Once again, this side hatch has remained closed since the Crew-8 mission lifted off in March, early March of this year. They docked with the space station and egressed and ingressed from this capsule using the forward hatch, which is the hatch at the top of the capsule located below that nose cone. So the side hatch was never used while it was in space. So this will be the first time that that side hatch will be, and that is actually one of two bays, if you will, where the drogues are fitted into. So there's one on each side, as there are two drogue parachutes. And you can also see around the side of the hatch where the lines that connect the drogue parachutes to the main parachutes, you can see how those run around the edge of the side hatch as well. So kind of a cool view to show some of the re-entry systems, or excuse me, the re-entry and splashdown systems used for our astronaut return.
And it looks like we are starting to see the first crew member be extracted. I'm not sure if that will be Commander Matt Dominic or Mike Barrett, but it is typically one of those middle seats because they're easiest to reach. So again, you do see that crew member getting some assistance. I can't quite tell who it is just yet.
I can only imagine what it feels like to have to stand up after spending nearly 8 months in space and having to stand up for the first time with Earth's gravity.
And that is NASA astronaut Matt Dominic, who is now out of the spacecraft. His very first space flight looks like what it is, but I do expect that it would be NASA astronaut Mike Barrett. But we'll confirm that just momentarily.
In addition to the individual standing around the outside, there's also a recovery team member inside the capsule assisting with the egress.
And that is NASA astronaut Mike Barrett. This is he's the veteran on this spaceflight. The other three flyers on board Crew-8 were all rookies. And so in total, Mike Barrett has spent 447 days in space.
Saw some excitement there.
Yes. So remaining inside Endeavour is NASA astronaut Jeanette Epps, as well as Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gurbankin. So we'll see who comes out next. You do see those footrests as they are removed from the spacecraft to give a little more space for recovery personnel to assist the crew members out.
I think it looks like we might be getting Jeanette Epps next.
And we are starting to see Alexander Gurbankin be extracted from the spacecraft as well. Some thumbs up. And we now have all 4 crew members outside of Crew Dragon Endeavour following their 235 days in space. Some cheers and excitement for Crew-8. That's great to see.